Welcome to Porto, Portugal's second largest city, renowned for its bridges, cobbled streets and its port wine production.
So join us today as we do a walking tour of the city of Porto and see all of the top sites. We're starting our walking tour of Porto here at Torre dos Clérigos. This 76-metre high tower was built in the 1700s and is in the Baroque style architecture. Inside you can walk the 225-step staircase all the way to the top to get 360 views of Porto. So we've just picked up 2 tickets to go into the tower. Now in peak seasons you have to queue to get a ticket and then you'll get an allotted time to be able to go up to the tower. We've got 1 o'clock, so we're going to go and explore Porto a bit more and then come back. We are in De Terra for breakfast this morning. In the evening it's actually a buffet style, but in the morning you can order from a menu. We've grabbed a couple of juices. This is a beetroot one. Sean got like a green juice style and a couple of coffees, and on the way we have avocado toast and some burgers. Oh, here it is. Perfect.
Need to wait more 4 minutes.
Okay, a few more minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, so my breakfast has arrived. We've got tofu scramble on some toast with mushrooms. How good does that look? And this, just for a price gauge, this was €7 and the drinks were €3.75 and the coffees are €1 each for an espresso style.
We're here in Avenida dos Aliados, otherwise known as the Central Plaza. It's quite chaotic here. We rode in here late last night and there was cars and traffic packed everywhere. But it's a nice square. It's home to the town hall just behind us. It's also where you can queue up to get your free walking tour, and there's lots of boutique shops and hotels and things like that here.
Yeah, it's a really nice square. It's got a very Parisian feel to it with the architecture. So from this point we're going to continue on our tour, walking more towards the sea hopefully.
Yes, I think that's some of the nicer areas of Porto down there. Walking down the Central Plaza here, we're on our way to the train station of Porto, and it's supposedly one of the grandest train stations in the world, so looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this because for it to have such a claim, one of the most beautiful train stations in the world, my expectations are high.
That's a bold claim. We've been to many a train station, so let's see if indeed Porto has one of the most beautiful train stations in the world. There is a lot of building work going on at the moment in Porto, so a lot of the main attractions for us are sealed off, so we can't actually go and see them. But it's great to see that they're really looking after the city and trying to improve it as much as they can, so hopefully when we come back again in the future, it'll all be finished and we can enjoy it to its full extent. From the outside, it looks like any normal train station.
Nothing special.
Just going to walk in now. It is very popular here, it's very busy.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
It's so beautiful. I think when you add major train station with major tourist attraction, it was always going to be a bit busy and hectic in here, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah, no matter how busy it is, it's really good that all of the tiles and painted tiles are really high up, so it doesn't matter how busy it is in here, you can always enjoy it, which is really fantastic.
There must be hundreds and hundreds of tiles in here.
20,000 tiles.
20,000 tiles, yep. Wow. It looks like they're depicting battles maybe of some kind. You've got like a nice farm scene at the top, and then underneath it looks like somebody's coming from victory, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do look like decisive battles, maybe like state ages of Portugal. So, okay, maybe it is quite possibly one of the most beautiful train stations in the world. We'll let them have that one.
Yeah. So I was just reading in the Lonely Planet Portugal blog. I found this really interesting. It was designed by Jorge Colaco in 1930. Some 20,000 tiles, which Sean remembered, has been used, and they depict historic battles. I think this one is Henry the Navigator's conquest, as well as around the top it's the history of transport. So you've got it starting off with horses, then horse and carts, and then some of the other tiles have trains on it, which are more recent additions. It's a real contrast because when you step out of the kind of waiting area of the train station, which is that beautiful room covered in tiles, you're in a train station which again just looks like a normal train station in any European city. So definitely don't miss this when you come, but do keep in mind it is very busy train station, and on top of it, it's a tourist attraction.
Just try and get out of here. It's absolutely packed today. It is a bank holiday weekend, so hopefully when you come it won't be as busy.
Yeah, I'm not one for busy places at all. This one was worth it for me, but let's get somewhere a bit quieter. Oh, fresh air.
And we're out.
And we're out. All right, what's the next destination in our little walking tour?
Not sure, but I'd quite like to head down to the water in a bit.
Yeah?
A bit more
Head
quiet.
towards the water. Okay then, that sounds like a plan. Oh, you can see one of the main cathedrals as soon as you come out of the train station as well. That looks a quiet street, doesn't it? Let's go up that one. As you walk down the street from the train station, you'll pass loads of shops, loads of restaurants, a really great vibe street. And you'll also come to this point, which is one of the churches that's kind of nestled between the tiled buildings. But we are going to continue on now and maybe head back up into the higher section of Porto and go into the tower that we were at this morning.
As you can see behind us, this is one of the best viewpoints of the city. We're going to go to the tower in a bit, which will also have a good viewpoint, but this is
Miradouro de Vitória. Miradouro de Vitória viewpoint.
Yeah, it has great views of the city, and you see the bridges, the cathedral, everything's in eye view there.
All right, shall we head up into the tower?
Starting the ascent up the tower, and there seems to be anyone else. I don't know if we're going up the right one.
So I think it's like a museum and a tower.
Oh, okay.
In the same ticket. Wow, you get a grand view. It's like IKEA, this place. We came in there, we've had to go all the way around the outside, all the way, just to come up here because of the arrows.
If you're in a rush, duck underneath there. Save yourself some time.
So here go the 225 steps.
We're at the top now, and the views, as promised, are spectacular. 360-degree views of all of Porto, and you can really get a good feel for the city from up here. If you want to get up and close to some of the most beautifully decorated tiles in town, come to the top of town and to the tiled church, and there's lots of photo opportunities here. It's a really nice spot. There's no shortage of nice coffee shops and restaurants in Porto, but we've gone to this one. It's a little roastery. It's just off the main street. In fact, I think we could smell it before we could see it, and it's called Fabrica.
Fabrica, and they put swans on the top of our coffees, which is adorable.
I'll say, it's a lovely cup of coffee. There it is, Fabrica.
It's really good too. It's really strong though for a flat white. We also have a great view of the street outside. You can sit on the windows, which is nice. You get the breeze coming in.
What's interesting in the back streets of Porto is there's buildings just behind me here that are brand new and fully restored, and right next to them are ones that are literally falling down and being held up with acro jacks. It's a fascinating place for sure, and there's lots of buildings here that are in need of a lot of tender loving care. Just behind me here is the Porto Cathedral, and the Porto Pillar is just there as well. It's become a place of performing artists. You probably hear some in the background there, and also people selling those annoying bird whistles. But it's quite a cool area. It's got some great views of the city. Just see there behind me also. And yeah, there's an interesting walk up here. There's a lot of crumbling buildings, which I didn't expect to see here in Porto, so hopefully they'll be restored and maybe just even preserved would be a good start. But we're going to head down towards the water now. I'm going to cross over the bridge to the other side.
Anyone want an investment property?
Contact Jose on 351 967 449 179.
I feel like I've just stepped back in time. This is the street underneath the main tourist attraction, the main bridge here in Porto. It's a little shocking.
It is. The state of disrepair is almost unbelievable.
We are now at the Pont Louis Bridge. You can either walk along the bottom of it, or you can also walk along the top of it. It's very, very busy today, and it looks like they've been doing some more construction work at the bottom. I'm not too sure how long that's been there for though.
We've just crossed over the bridge and onto the other side. It's really, really quite a vibe here, isn't it? Lots going on here.
Both sides of the sea, both sides of this river sea area are lined with restaurants, bars, loads of boat tours that you can do, even jet skis you can do down here apparently.
But the best feature of coming to the other side here is the view of the old city here, and it really looks fantastic there.
Yeah, you can see the tiles glistening when you look over onto it. Makes a unique thing from normally paint than you see in like Italy, Portofino, those painted houses. This one's, they actually sparkle.
Just after you cross the bridge and turn right, you'll find lots of markets selling really authentic goods. But the further away you get from the bridge, the less authentic those goods become.
Yeah.
Until you get the normal counterfeit bags, glasses, etc, etc. Also at the end of here is the gondola, which you can just about see there. And that's taking people to the monastery at the top there. It's quite a big line there, so you can either wait in the line for about 20-30 minutes, or you can just have a 10-minute walk to the top, which is what we're going to do.
Yes, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site up there, so it should be really beautiful. But I think that we will walk a little bit further down here because there's a few more markets. Can you see?
As we're having 2 nights here, I've got the rare opportunity of having something to drink because I'm not on the bike today. Then tomorrow morning I'll be back on the bike. So maybe we should go and sample some ports. And there's an actual winery here that's 1880. So let's go in here and see what they've got. This is a great place to escape the noise from the crowds. It's quite peaceful in here and really cool as well. So if you've had enough of the noise of the city, pop in here and have a relaxing little drink.
Oh.
I can smell that.
Wine.
Didn't even open the door. We're at the Ramos Pinto winery here. We're just waiting for our tasting session to arrive. We've gone for the intermediate tasting session, which is the slightly older ports. You can choose between, I think there's 5 levels. The first level is €10, that's for the new ports.
That still gets you 5 ports as well with that.
Yep, each one gets you 5 ports. So it's actually really good value and they are very generous with their serving sizes. Okay, the ports have arrived. We've got a white port, we've got 2 rubies and we've got 2 tawny ports there. I think this one is 10 years old and this one is 20. So we're going to give them a taste and see if we can find a drink that Em actually likes.
It's quite a difficult thing.
So first on the white. It's quite fresh.
It's fresh?
You haven't actually had white port before.
Okay.
So it's first for you as well.
Okay. It smells nice.
He said this one was quite floral.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's quite strong. I can taste a lot of alcohol in it.
Yeah. I think they're fortified wines, aren't they? So I think they add like a spirit to the wine during the process. So I think that brandy is commonly added to these. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, next one.
Of the rubies, they call these reservas. I think these are quite common.
Quite common, yeah. I think he said something about that they had to be preserved over 5 years to have this like label of reserva on them. How's that one like?
It's not too bad.
Yeah,
Again,
I'm gonna
it's
try it.
very easy drinking. She's not sold on that one.
I'm not sold on that one, but I still prefer the white. I think out of the 2, I'm still more of a fan of the white. Actually, the last time we were in a winery was in Lebanon.
We were, weren't we? I don't think you were too impressed with those either.
No, I was not.
But the tour was nice in the cave.
The tour was really cool.
Okay, this one is
middle
the
one, right?
second of the rubies.
So this one's been aged slightly more than this one.
Okay, so it smells a little oakier.
A little, like okay.
Maybe.
More preserved in the barrel.
They said about berries, didn't they? Always mention berries when you're sampling.
Right, my turn.
Does a lot fruitier.
A lot fruity.
You might like that one.
Right.
The aftertaste of the port is very nice.
That one I prefer. That's nice.
Preference over.
That's a really
compared
nice
to the white, which one would you go for?
I still go for the white because it's slightly sweeter and I prefer something a little bit sweet. These are, I can taste more dry notes in this one than the previous 2, but that's just me being snazzy.
You should just heard that word being thrown there before. Okay, now
these are the expensive ones,
these
right?
are the more pricey ones. So this is the 10-year-old tawny port.
Okay.
So these are supposedly more oaky because they've been in the barrel longer.
The colour is different on them. These ones are super, like as you said, rubies, really red.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I prefer that one.
I like
Let me
that
try that.
Okay, that's don't need to say anything about that one then.
They're so strong.
They are strong.
I feel like I'm tasting a wine and I'm expecting it to be like soft and subtle.
Like wine with a shot of brandy in.
Yeah, it's like really got a kick to them. So far my favourite is definitely still the ruby.
What, this middle one here?
Yeah, I think it was the 8-year-old one, that one.
And finally, the 20-year-old tawny.
Okay.
Does it smell a bit more oaky again?
More oakies.
Oaky.
This place that we're in is so lovely. It's so calm in here compared to some of the other tastings outside who are really busy. How's that
must
one?
have expensive taste. I think this one's my favourite so far.
That one your favourite? Let me try it. I'll try a little bit so it's not wasted on me.
Almost tastes like the forest.
That's lovely.
That is lovely, isn't
That's
it?
lovely.
Yeah.
That's really soft, really oaky and dry.
So we've confirmed Em has expensive taste.
Yeah, that one I can drink. That one, the red, the white, and the middle one, but these two I wasn't.
It was a little bit too bitter.
A little bit too bitter for me.
That's really nice.
That's really nice.
The aftertaste is really good.
It's subtle, oaky, really soft.
I think that's the taste I associate with port.
With port, yeah. It doesn't taste of alcohol.
No, it doesn't really.
Like the other ones,
Yeah.
these two to me had a really strong
Quite sour. Are they
Sour.
a bit sour?
alcohol taste, but that one
That
is
one's lovely.
lovely and soft.
That's great. So this is the intermediate tasting plate, whatever.
Yeah, the tasting menu, I guess.
tasting menu, and it was €15, and they are very generous with the
Very
amount of them. So we're sharing this one,
Yeah, and you can get the one up from this is 30, and that's just all of the
starting from the older one.
starting from the really older ones.
But there's also a beginner one which is €10, and it's great value.
Yeah.
What do you get? 5 drinks, €10. So yeah, totally
And-
recommend this place.
and a wonderful atmosphere as well to spend your
Yeah,
afternoon
it's a
in.
lovely
really
room
nice.
here. That's the Ramos Pinto, and it's just across the bridge. That was one of our Porto highlights, and I definitely recommend that you check this place out if you're here.
Definitely, and it is something to kind of tick off and do, have a port in Porto. It's just a
Absolutely.
must-do thing here. But don't miss this place because you could just walk past it. Come into the courtyard and have your port tasting in here. And
Yeah.
you can get more port tastings further down. They are like €5 for 5 ports, but you're going to get really good quality
Yeah,
at this
at least
place.
you know this one you can always buy at home, and you can find this one wherever you live because it's quite well known. So yeah, it looks quite, it almost looks shut because it's not so busy, but they're the gates. Make yourself inside there, and it's really good. So we're going to head up to the monastery now, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's just there in the background. There's still a queue for the gondola, so we're going to walk and we're going to check out up there. This is the last viewpoint of the day. We're up here on the monastery. It's a little walk up, wasn't too bad.
Yeah, about 10 minutes. If you can't do the gondola, don't worry about it. Just walk up.
It's an easy walk.
It's an easy walk.
So the plan now is we're going to head back down. We're going to walk across the top of the bridge this time, back into the city, a little bit down to the water,
Yeah,
and
drop
then
back down.
I think we're going to get changed and then maybe head out again in the evening.
See Porto at night. So the sun is setting here in Porto, and it's kind of drawing to the end of our little city tour. We're still going to go out and find some dinner later on this evening, but Sean just grabbed a Superbock, is it?
It's a Superbox Stout.
Superbock Stout.
Actually, not that, in a tiny little bottle.
Yeah, they call them mini, so at least you can try a couple of them.
Was it like less than €1?
Yeah,
60
like
cents?
60
or something?
cent it was. There's loads of restaurants and stuff behind us, and yeah, we're just going to spend the evening. We're going to go and try and find somewhere for dinner, but at the moment we're just watching the sunset and watching the boat here at the front. We were just walking through the streets trying to find somewhere to eat, and I came across this local an artist shop, and I fell in love with a piece of art. It's this one here in the window, and it's depicting all of the different countries in the world and their most famous landmark, and I couldn't resist. I had to come in and I had to buy it. So Sean's just ordering it, and the artist is actually here, which is super cool. But look how beautiful these are. And they've even got gold leaf on them, and they're all hand drawn. So when you're in Porto, make sure you come here and check it out. I think that might have been just the highlight of my trip.
Absolutely, what a talented artist that guy is. Such amazing pieces in that. We'll put his website
In the
link
description.
in the description because it's amazing. He also does custom pieces as well, so if you've got a special image or a photo, he can turn it into a sketch for you as well.
I just fell in love with that piece. I just absolutely fell in love with it.
And he started selling on the streets the artwork, and then they've recently moved into the shop, and good on them.
Yeah,
Really
a real
well done.
success story. So make sure you come and check it out. This is the outside, Project Vimoc.
We're at our last restaurant for Porto. This is going to be our last meal before we get up tomorrow and hit the road again. And our starters have already arrived.
Yeah, we're here at a restaurant called Be Kind. It looks incredible. I've got a bruschetta style dish. We've got hummus, and we've also got these, which are crispy tofu, which, look at that. They look so good. So we're going to enjoy this meal, walk back to our hotel, have one last stroll through Porto, and then head on the road tomorrow to our next destination. It was good. The main courses have arrived, but we're still nibbling away at our starters. I got the BLT with tofu bacon, which looks pretty good, and Sean got a chickpea curry with basmati rice. So, cheers.
It's nearly time to say good night and goodbye to Porto. We've just come back to the train station one last time at night, and it's really quiet and peaceful in here. There's not so many people, so it's a good time to come and enjoy the paintings on the wall.
So that's it from us here in Porto, and we'll see you guys in the next video as we make our way to Lisbon on our motorcycle.